In our last video, we took a road trip to Quito and had to give up our passports so that we could apply for our French Polynesia visas.
And that sparked a ton of questions. Sorry to cut you off.
That's good. Of why? Why do we give up our passports?
Are you crazy? Giving away your passports?
And why do we need a visa?
Those are all very good questions.
Yes, they are. Oh, I won. Sailing is all about seasons and timing, and there's definitely a time to cross an ocean.
And we started playing this like early December, right after we transited the Panama Canal.
And what we learned was...
In the South Pacific, cyclone season is from December to April. That's a cyclone. Throughout the South Pacific, the highest frequency of cyclones is between December and March, which continues to be considered the most dangerous period. December. Danger zone! Usually the weather gets better as the season progresses, with passages in March and April experiencing more unsettled weather than those in May or June. So based on the information that we researched, here is when we want to leave.
Now we know when we want to sail, we need to look at the actual sail itself.
20 to 30 days at sea, people.
Yeah.
This is like...
It's a 4,000 nautical mile journey.
our longest passage ever.
And just a big leap in general. So we need to do something kind of epic once
When
we
we get
there.
exactly. It needs to be awesome. When we land in Marquesas...
After probably sleeping a lot. Yeah. But looking at the islands themselves, it's 118 islands and atolls spread out over 1,200 miles.
This is a lot to explore once we get there.
Yeah, as U.S. citizens, we get 90 days upon arrival as a tourist visa. But 90 days is not enough.
Yeah, we're not in a rush to get around the world. We're here to explore each little atoll, each little island, and really just soak up as much of the underwater diversity and the on-land diversity.
And
that we possibly
everybody
can.
raves about it.
Yeah.
Every cruiser we've talked to is like, you are going to want to apply for the long stay visa. 90 days or 30 days, depending on what country you're from, is just not enough.
And
You're going to want time.
And so much so that so many people actually come in, do their 90 days, sail down to New Zealand, wait, and then come back.
No way.
No, so that's how we figured out we needed to apply for a long stay French Polynesia visa. That's what it's called, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So then the next step was to figure out, okay, how do we go about applying? Well, you have to do so at a French embassy. There's one in Panama City, which is where we were at the time. So we reached out and we...
got an email back.
Yep. And they said, okay, the process takes anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks. And big kicker is you can't apply any more than 30 days out.
90 days out. You can't apply further than 90 days out, which sounds confusing. Timeline. And that's when we figured out if we want to sail here, we have to apply for our visa here. Which posed a bit of a problem because our Panama visa expires here. Which is how we decided we needed to go somewhere else. And why not go to Ecuador?
South America. What? Now you know why we're in Ecuador, why we're sailing when we're sailing,
and why the heck we had to give up our passports for the French Polynesia long stay visa.
Yes. So about that application.
It is a beast.
Yeah. We have never applied for a visa before, so we were a little extra, I guess, nervous because it is time and money.
And we didn't want to get it wrong. I mean, there's a lot riding on our time frame.
Yeah.
So you don't want to make a mistake.
And we didn't want to get denied.
We just, like, dove into it nonstop the day we got into Ecuador.
So here is everything that we submitted. First being a cover letter stating why we wanted a long stay visa and everything that was included with our application. The actual application itself, duly filled out. Filled out. Passport photos.
Handsome mug.
To go along with our actual passports, we asked if we could please keep them, that we wanted to travel, possibly to Peru or Colombia or anywhere else.
They said, I'm sorry, there's no way, we have to mail your passport to Papete. They have to put a little sticker in there, and approve it if you are approved, and this photo goes into the visa.
So the visa gets stuck inside your passport, which is why they request the actual passport. A little bit nerve-wracking. We also had to submit not only our actual passport, but copies of our passports as well.
I do the holding of the paper.
Okay. 6 months of bank statements.
Yes.
To prove that we are financially stable.
And we're not going to suck off the... Ooh, that's probably a bad analogy. We're not going to... leech, yes. Leech off of their...
the French Polynesian government.
Yes.
A letter stating that we would not be seeking employment while we were in French Polynesia, therefore not taking their jobs.
Is it getting hot in here?
It is hot in here.
It's literally hot in here.
It's making me schwitz. Healthcare coverage, because that is now required. Yes. You have to have healthcare coverage also.
Because they don't want you to use up their healthcare for free.
I get all of this.
I understand. So now we have health coverage for the first time in a very long time.
Very true. And our yellow fever vaccine,
they don't want you bringing in, they don't want you to bring in other diseases into their country that they don't have.
Also understandable. Our vessel documentation, proof of insurance for our vessel.
They require insurance.
A crew list of everybody that's going to be on board.
That's just us.
And a sail plan, which is just super generic, but just something to say, here's where we plan on going.
Here's the islands we plan on visiting, and we hope to spend this much time.
Yep.
That's a lot of islands.
That's the application. Okay.
Times 2, because you have to make 2 copies of everything, and times 2, because each one of us has to apply individually. So this stack that we brought was literally...
It was thick.
A binder full.
It was a lot of paperwork. Okay, so that's the actual application, but there's a whole bunch of side notes and things that I learned that I'm not going to dive into every single detail. If you are legitimately going to be filling out a visa application, you want to know what our cover letters and all that kind of stuff look like, or especially French Polynesia, I'm going to put a bunch of tips and extra info in the post, because I always put a bunch of information on our website and extra photos and everything
links
else.
And everything else.
Yes, so if you're not clicking over to our website, you should be. You're missing out.
You forgot to tell them. So now that brings us up to our last video in Ecuador, in Quito, when we submit all this stuff. We said is a big hubbub. We didn't really dive into it, but it really was a big hubbub. And that's when we submitted our application. Whoa, my handwriting's getting horribly worse. Hooray. And we wait for, it takes what?
6 to
8 weeks to receive our Polynesian visas and our passports back. Mm-hmm. And hopefully here we get our visas. And most importantly, passports. Woohoo! Yay! And then we can throw out the spinnaker, and this is a sailboat, believe it or not. And then that's waves. This is the breeze, and French Polynesia.
You said get visas and passports with visas.
I'm really excited about getting the visa. Obviously. And then hopefully, if all goes well, we'll arrive here. Ta-da! I can draw a little mustache. That's a mustache, not a bird.
So, click over to our website. Make sure and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share it with a friend, definitely your fellow cruisers that might be going to French Polynesia.
And maybe we'll see you there.
Yeah.
I mean, you'll definitely see us there.
Yeah, just maybe not at the same time that you're there, but maybe. You never know. Oh, and spoiler alert.
What?
We actually did get him back.
Oh!
We were approved, and guess what? At the time that you're watching this video, we're already on our way to French Polynesia.
Hopefully a quarter of the way, maybe a third of the way, just downwind, just never dropping the spinnaker. It's gonna be smooth.
I know. But another announcement video on that in a couple of days. Okay, bye.
Bye.